Hi, for any of you watching out there, my name is Mickey Neuffer. This isn't necessarily for the public, but it's going to be that way because um, due to circumstances. Anyhow, this video is for my mom. Okay, Mom, I haven't talked to you in about 10 years. It's probably going to stay that way for a while. Okay. There was a couple times that I was going to see if we could fix something there, but both times we blew it. Okay. The one time was at my brother's house, and he gave me the phone, and I brought up certain things that your husband did, and the fact that you were in complete denial of something that was just blatantly obvious, and you would not face what he did, and I know you know what he did. If you can't tell me the truth, we don't have anything to talk about. Now, another thing is over the last 10 years, I have been doing fairly well, okay? I don't have any stress about your husband making calls to my house in the middle of the night telling me that someone's coming to kill me. I don't have any issues with someone, my phone's not working anymore because someone turned off the phone, and all of a sudden the phone, my line is going to your house, okay? I don't have all these little things that were just, I don't have to talk to your husband and agree to everything that he says, okay? He'll have a whole line of bullshit. And over all these years, he assumes that I agreed with him because I agreed with him, okay? I did agree with him because I agreed with him. I agreed with him because I was going along with him just to keep the peace. Your husband is a dick. There's nothing. Your husband is the biggest con artist in the world, and why you've stayed married to him all these years, the only thing that I can fathom is it's because something about once you're married for good. Okay. Now, I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you get a divorce. I'm not here to judge you on the decisions you make in your life. I do know that without Chris in my life, I can bring my son up without the negative influence of him, okay? I have done a lot of stupid things while Chris was around. We were, when you were in Bay City, we all got high in the basement, okay? We did cocaine, we did meth, we did pot. And I'm pretty sure you're fairly aware of it. You just choose not to pay attention to it. I wasn't on the same extreme as Jason was. It was just something. I got out of the military. I had no friends. I was totally in shock because all my friends had got up and left the whole town. So I thought I was coming back to a town where I knew everyone. Red Wing's not like that. Everyone was gone. All my friends were gone, and after 4 years in the military, I didn't know how to be a civilian anymore. So, after you got married on a weekend, I came back, and on day 4, I find out that I'm kicked out of the house after coming back after 4 years because your husband is more important than your kids, obviously. I didn't know what to do there. Okay, so I went over and stayed at the Torbinson's house for a night. Brandy came with me. And then after a while I gave in trying to figure things out, because what did I have to back me up? I didn't have a place to live. I didn't have a job. Everything was gone. So I took the GI Bill, went to school during the week, and on the weekends I hung out with Chris and we got high. Okay, every party that he had at your house, there were drugs there. I not proud about it. You know, at least I know what all the drugs do. I don't do any drugs anymore. I would like to live a long and healthy life, so yes, I keep away from the drugs. And the most important thing right now is that I get my son on the right foot and going the right way, and that will never happen with a con artist like your husband around. Also, so there were things, I mean, when I was, things that I probably tried to hide from you because I was afraid of, I wasn't meeting expectations or whatnot. At one point in time I got hooked on cigarettes, and I smoked for about 7 years. And so I'd go over your house and me and Chris would go out and we would smoke. Now the thing that I find really funny is I really don't think that I got away with it. I'm pretty sure that you knew that I was smoking outside. And and the thing is that, you know, I was smoking, I was ashamed that I was smoking, but you know what? It's hard to stop smoking. I've done it. I don't smoke anymore. But it was, you know, it's probably maybe what made me hide it the most, and a lot of stupid things that I've done in my life that I have hidden, that have been stupid, I have kept them hidden probably because of what the church expectations were. Okay, I didn't want to be a failure because of the way that I was brought up. So I was a failure and I kept them to myself. And it's alright if I know, but the thing is that I didn't need to be the failure in the eyes of everyone else. All the stupid things that I've done. Okay. Now I know that there's a lot of things that you have kept from me over the years. There's things that you've lied about. The whole idea that you've never had alcohol is just totally absurd, because you have. I know a lot about things that you haven't told me about, but that's okay. All right, if you don't, you know, I'm not here to judge what you've done. Okay, you've done the best that you can do. I think a lot of things that you did because of your upbringing. I think to an extent there's a lot of things that I'm making a wild guess, your dad did. I don't know what your dad did, but I think your dad did something really messed up when you were a kid. And it goes to show when we were younger, you had a temper. Okay, you had quite the temper, and I didn't want to do something like drop a glass on the floor, or break a dish, or spill my drink. Heavens forbid. I'd have the one arm up in the air while I got my butt beat. I'm being 100% honest here. Now, I'm not, like I said, no matter what comes out of my mouth here, I'm not mad at you. The whole reason I have cut off all communications is because I got a boy to raise, and I need to raise him the right way. Something else that I need to come forward with is, and if Chris is watching this, he's like, oh man, here he comes, he's gay, he's gay. Nancy, I've been telling you this for years, he's gay. I'm not gay. If I were gay, I would tell you that I was gay. There's nothing to be ashamed of if you're gay. What I do have to tell you though is probably a little bit worse than gay. Okay. I am an atheist. Okay. And what is an atheist? I'm pretty sure atheist is basically the only thing that makes me an atheist is anyone who does not believe in the existence of a God. Okay. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in spirits. I don't believe in the Loch Ness Monster. I don't believe in leprechauns, and I don't believe in unicorns. There is no reason in the world that I should. There's no reason in the world that to believe in God. Okay, the Mormon faith. This is what I did. I went down and I read I had a disagreement with Steve, Brandy's husband, and I thought, according to him, that God was pretty harsh in some of the things that he said. So I went out and I read the Bible. Let me tell you a secret about the Bible. There is nothing in that book that proves the existence of God. The whole thing from beginning to end is a story. And you realize that the devil doesn't even show up till the very end, till the New Testament. Some people like to say that the serpent is, in the Garden of Eden was Satan. It doesn't say that. It says it was a serpent. Just like later in the book, they talk about a talking donkey. Okay, it's not referenced as anyone else, but it was a talking donkey. The Bible is bullshit. It's a story. It's a story like Spider-Man comics is a story, okay? The proof, the mere existence of the Bible doesn't prove that Jesus existed. The Bible was written 70 years after the death of Christ. Now think of this, okay? Think of you placing yourself in a world, okay? Think of one person who died, okay, 70 years ago. Now imagine that there's no written information in this individual. Now I want you to document their life in a time where we have no technology whatsoever. I'm sorry, Jesus, probably, he might have been a man, but what he didn't happen. It was stories. It's stories like every other God. The Book of Mormon, that I went through and I read the Book of Mormon too. And the whole thing is a story. And it's not even a very well written one. And then when he gets to the Pearl of Great Price, where he reinterprets, he goes out and gets this papyrus, and he translates it from Reformed Egyptian. Little did Joseph Smith realize that on the other side of the world, that they discovered the Rosetta Stone. Now, after they discovered the Rosetta Stone, that allowed them to translate Egyptian hieroglyphics. And everything that Joseph Smith translated and said was God's word was absolutely 100% incorrect. Now, something else is that I've read these books. I've read the Bible a couple times, and I tell you what, it's quite boring, and it just, I'm not going to read it again. I've read the Book of Mormon, and if I would have read this stuff years ago, I would have been an atheist a lot sooner. So, I have written the church, and I had them, I've written the church and had them, took me off their little Mormon membership thingy. I'm not a Mormon anymore. To get that removed, it was kind of a pain in the butt, and they sent me a letter of, read this letter, remember that you or your actions will have severe consequences. Please reconsider your removal of being a Mormon or whatever. And so I got that taken care of. So actually I am absolutely nothing. I am not any religion, and actually I have devoted a lot of my time to standing up against the religious. Just to let you know, it feels a lot better not being religious. I don't worry about sin anymore. I don't do anything bad, but sin's not there. I don't know how much you worry about sin and what you do wrong or what you're doing right, or if anyone's looking over your shoulder. If anyone's looking over my shoulder, I don't care. Whether they think that I'm a good or bad person because I don't believe in a God, it doesn't matter. I am a person who's defined by my actions, and so if I'm a good person to everyone else, then people will treat me like a good person. If I'm a bad person, they'll treat me like a bad person. As far as dying, when I die, I'm not really worried about that either. This is what happens when I die. I'm dead. Like turning a computer on, when you die, you're off. I was dead for billions of years before I was alive, and it didn't bother me a bit. So I'm pretty sure that when I die, it probably won't bother me then either. To say that I have nothing to live for would be totally just wrong. Being that this is the one life that I have to live, I have everything to live for. My goal is to make sure that my son is more prepared to take on the world than I was after I got out of school, because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing. I just would spend half my life winging it. Prayer never did me any good. I don't believe in chance. I don't believe in superstition, and basically that's all prayer is. Prayer is superstition. Okay, throw some salt over your shoulder to for good luck. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. Say a little verse or two to a deity that you think exists, and you will be better for it. Well, let me tell you something about praying. If God has a plan for everything, every time you turn and pray to God, you're asking Him to change His plan. Okay, so I mean, in everyone. Also, obviously, God has got His plan wrong, and you're asking Him to change it. I mean, this is aside from asking or saying thank you for your food on their table that, Jose John in Mexico grew for us and sent up to Minnesota so we could buy at the grocery store and put on our table. But it's a waste of time. And if you want to do good with your life, you don't have to spend it worshiping something that doesn't exist every Sunday in church. Go out, do something for people. Stop praying for people to get better and do good. Go out and do good, and you will see a lot more happening than just sitting back and wishing for it to get done. Now, I've studied the Bible well enough, and the Book of Mormon. I actually went a step further and studied the Quran, which is just about as bad as the Bible. There's a lot of killing. By the way, did you know if you were to take a study or a count to see how many people were killed in the Bible, God versus Satan, you realize that God kills all of them and Satan kills 10 because he bet God that he wouldn't do it, and God killed him. So this is basically death by association on a bet. God's an asshole. Now, let me tell you, I know enough about the Book of Mormon and the Bible that the missionaries will not come to my house anymore. I'm not allowed to go to church. Well, I'm not allowed to show up. I'm allowed to go there, but I'm not allowed to say anything. I'm not allowed to ask any questions. The missionaries are not allowed to come to the house here unless they have someone that is over them to make sure that he can try to reinterpret what I say or what I ask. They won't even do that anymore. So my house is off limits. The whole idea is that if you ask too many questions, you ask the wrong questions, questions that can't be answered, or questions that take apart the church, your household will be put off limits. And my household is off limits. There is one way I found that I can get the missionaries to come out here and talk to me, and I'm more than happy because I love debate discussion when the missionaries come over. But they got this little website online. It said, "Are you interested in the Bible?" and sign up here to get your free Bible. Well, this site is put out by the Mormon missionaries, and I did this, and they're guaranteed. And if I was to put this in on like Monday, they would show up to my house by the weekend. And I'm probably going to be doing a YouTube video on this shortly. I'm going to post the date that I put this down, and I'm going to show how they show up to the house. But they don't know what to say when they get here. They just want someone who is totally clueless but feels somewhat spiritual. And if you're feeling spiritual, like there is something that can guide you, if you got that warm, fuzzy feeling in your tummy, and you don't know that it's, was last night's lunch or something like that, that's what the Mormons want. They want you because they can explain it in their way, not in a way that really has anything to do with truth. Okay? Remember, if something is true, you can usually point out why or give a general direction as to why something's true. If it's not true, if it's questionable, there will be a lot of questions about it. And remember this, faith is not knowing that the sun's going to come up tomorrow. I know that the sun's going to come up tomorrow because it's come up every day of my life, and it hasn't not come up. Faith is believing that the sun's going to go down at high noon tomorrow. Faith is believing that the sun's going to come up at midnight tonight. Faith is believing in something that you have absolutely no proof in. There's no difference between blind faith and faith. They're the same thing. Because if faith worked in any solid way, then I should be able to apply my faith at another church to tell whether it was the correct church or not. But it doesn't work that way. You're a Mormon because you were born a Mormon. Muslims are Muslims because they were born Muslims. Buddhists because they're born Buddhists. Every religion on the planet, most people are religious because they were born that way. And the thing is that the people that can convert it into the church are basically, they're floaters, okay? They either had problems at home or something like that, and they get converted into the church because they didn't know where to go. But they feel like this can't be it. They feel that there has to be a purpose. No, there's no purpose. There's things don't happen for a reason. They happen. And what you got to try to do is you got to make the most of what you got and be the best you can be, because this is all you got. When you die, you're not going to see me in heaven. I'm not going to be there. And if I'm wrong, you're definitely not going to see me in the celestial kingdom. I'm probably going to be on the bottom, because obviously I have rejected God, and my baptism is null and void. I really hope the Mormons don't baptize me again after I die, because that would be kind of a downer, because I don't like how God weaved his little plan together. Ever play telephone in school? You give a little message to someone, and then you pass it on, and by the time the little message gets back to you, it's totally different from what you started with, right? Well, if God decided to have a plan, and if Jesus was the point where he started it, God's big plan was a giant game of telephone. Jesus telephoned someone, Jesus died, and then everyone got it wrong, all the way to this day. And Joseph Smith sure as heck didn't get it right either, because there's over like 1,000, 2,000 corrections on the Book of Mormon. If you went out, you can get it on Amazon. If you buy the old version, the original transcript of the Book of Mormon, it is not what you are reading today. And the church isn't going to tell you about that, but you can get it. And it's just shocking to see what is in there. And actually, if you go on the original one, the spelling's atrocious. But I don't know. But anyhow, I suppose, I mean, one day I might get in contact with you again. I don't know how I'm going to do it with Chris around. If you can find a way to contact me through Facebook, and you can, and I feel that Chris isn't there or isn't aware of it, I will friend you. But from the second that I even think that Chris is on there, I will defriend you so fast that it's not even funny. I feel good without Chris around. I am really happy. And I know you're a good person. I love you, Mom, but I tell you what, I cannot put up with the bullshit. And I don't know. I hope you're doing well. I hope life has been productive, and I hope you're getting what you want out of it. But I can't help you with it. And hopefully maybe I'll get a hold of you later. Okay, bye.